So this morning I got out of work and I've got a bunch to get done today. I need to bottle regular syrup, plus I need to bottle whiskey barrel syrup because now one of the whiskey barrels that's in the sugar house has started leaking like a sieve since it started getting cold. And that's not really awesome by any stretch of the imagination. So I gotta get a barrel of syrup out, get that in the sugar house, but the sugar house is a mess right now because of everything that's going on. So I gotta make room so I can even work in here. So that barrel's really sprung a good leak now, which is going to be awesome because I need to do regular syrup before I do this one. So I'm probably going to be tracking syrup all over this place, but I gotta get the tractor warming up now so I can get that barrel up here. And then I gotta hook the heat pump back up because it's cold in here and it's still not hooked back up from when I poured that concrete. So that's also on this morning's project. There, that thing's re-leveled, and now I just got to take and get it wired back up. There, the heat pump's level and all wired back up. Now let's see if we can get this thing fired up. All right, now to get some syrup up here. Fire's lit on that, getting that syrup heated up. It's down to 40 degrees. So that syrup's cold. So it's gonna take a while for that to heat up. That's one of the reasons why I wanna get that going. Just make sure I get heat coming out. Yeah, heat coming out of the heat pump now, so that's good. But that reminds me, I gotta turn the RO heat on because it's that time of the year. I knew the room would be good. It's only at 44, 45 degrees, but it's time to get that heater plugged in. There, we'll see how much that heats it up. I normally keep the RO somewhere around 55, 60 degrees, but that little ceramic space heater works great. Just make sure you put it on the floor. If you put it up top, it doesn't circulate the air enough, so it'll be like 30 degrees on the floor and 60 at the ceiling. Just, it doesn't get the currents in there, but that thing works, so that's good. Everyone remembers my old canner. It's sold, but I had to go repo it because I needed it to bottle syrup 2 weeks ago. But now I'm gonna get my new one hooked up. It's just, this one's gonna take some time, but that syrup's gonna take some time too. This syrup in the barrel is almost up to temperature now. It's at like 170, so it's actually, yeah, 170. So it's got a little bit more to go. Getting this thing put together took a little bit longer than I thought. By the time I got everything done, got it wired up, then get it filled up. So that's heating up right now. So it's gonna be a minute before I'm ready for that syrup. But the other thing I got going for me is that the new tray isn't ready on here. So eventually it's gonna go on, hook on, and stay right there. But it's not finished yet, so it falls down. So I need to find a way to hold it up for now, which is gonna be a challenge. This syrup's coming right in perfect. It's supposed to be at 61.5 or at 62, right where I wanna be, a half a point heavy. Every barrel of syrup that comes in, even if I've already filtered it and checked it for density, we recheck it when we heat it up just to make sure we're perfect, because every now and then something may be off. But this one's perfect, so that makes it easy. I don't even have to check this barrel the rest of the day. This is heating up. I threw a thermometer in here just to see where on the dial, because there's a dial on the end of the heating element over here on the water jacket that I can adjust, but this thing's been heating up. It's heating up, I don't know, a couple degrees every 5 minutes, so it's taking a little bit longer than I want, but yeah, it is what it is. I got a makeshift stand here to hold this tray up, which that'll work and get me through today. And I already noticed a couple little things that I want to modify on this just to get it right for later down the road. But this thing will work today to be able to fill syrup, and I'll just have to move the blocks around, but it is what it is. Got to get a bunch of plastic filled today because we're running low on that. Syrup's at like 188 right now, so it's time to get this stuff filtered. So get this barrel up out of the way. And some filter aid. The nice thing now, this entire finisher, which is like, I think it's like 18 gallons of a water line, so it's probably closer to 15 most of the time when I'm doing it, will fit in the 18-gallon water jacket. So I'm not gonna have to play the game of going back and forth to make sure that I get in, because the old one was only about 10, 13 water lines, something like that. So everything now is gonna become much easier, that I'll be able to do all this plastic. The next batch will be already heating up to where it's gonna just make me faster in here. So really excited for this thing. The sugar house is definitely a lot cramped right now with this pallet of glass in here for whiskey barrel syrup. So hopefully Saturday I'm gonna get one barrel done, and then next week or the week after I'll get the second one done. That one's not so bad, it's in the corner and I'll be able to move the glass out of the way a little bit easier. There's not a lot of room in the sugar house with everything in here, so I gotta get some stuff out of here. That batch is in the canner now, so now we'll put another batch in the finisher so we can get this one heating up. All right, let's see how this goes. The first bottle getting filled out of the new canner. Got to say that this new nozzle is way better than the old one. It fills a lot smoother. On this gallon, you got to run until you get, say, an inch in the bottom. You got to run it slow. Then you can open it right up, and it'll fill these things fast. So everything about this thing is going to make faster filling syrup. I just filled all those bottles of syrup quick, and that fill valve is, wow, light years ahead of the old one. Just it comes out smooth. It doesn't swirl the syrup as much when it comes out, so I'm able to fill faster. And I only had to do it in one shot. I didn't have to put some of it up, then let it cool off. I didn't have to deal with it. This next batch is at right about 110 degrees, so I still got some time. So I'm gonna take and get all these labeled up and put away. That way I got room for the next batch, because I'm gonna try and get a bunch done today. Can I say how much I love having an 18-gallon water jacket? Because that whole thing is up there now, and I didn't have to fight with anything. It's just easy. And now batch 3 will get going, and I'm gonna be done this barrel of syrup quick. I'm working on putting batch number 3 up into the canner right now. And one thing I noticed is I've got a leak right there, where the heating element, that's where the heating element goes in. And I'm not gonna mess with it because I don't need 180 degree water coming out. So I'll tighten that up later, but I should be able to do it without even having to unwire it, because the wire will just spin. So that's an easy fix. But this thing's awesome. So it's day 2 of bottle, and I finished up the regular syrup the other night, but this morning I gotta start whiskey syrup. So I gotta get this going. I turned the heat on in the sugar house last night, so it should be fairly warm in there, but start getting some of this barrel pumped out and get the syrup heating up. I got my pump out pipe in there going through the filter press. I just use that as a transfer pump. We'll pump it into the finisher, then we got to bring it up to temperature, boil it, make sure we get all the water out, because the syrup actually pulls the moisture out of the barrel. That's why the barrel starts leaking. So we've got to get rid of that excess moisture so that we can get this thing so it's ready. Let me get this one heating up. It'll take a little while. It's good though, because while that's heating up, the water jacket's warming up now. I got that turned on, and then I've got to get all this syrup graded, well, put grade stickers on it, get it labeled, and then get that stuff put away. So I got some time while this is heating up, which will take a little while. This project's gonna probably take all day today, if not part of tomorrow, just because it takes so long to get this boiling, get rid of the water, and then get it going. But where this joint was leaking here, I just waited till I got done the other night, and I put a turn on that whole thing, tightened it up. Maybe it was 2 turns, and no more leak now, so that's all set. I did go up and calibrate the thermometer that goes in there, it was off a little bit, like 1 or 2 degrees. Nothing that's really going to make a huge difference in the syrup, but I did want to make sure I got that calibrated because I didn't have time the other day, but that's all set now. One thing I do is once the syrup goes in the case after it's been filled, I put it in upside down, and that just gets the syrup up to heat the cap. But then I try and do as much in the cases as I can the rest of the time I have the syrup. So I'm going to batch coat it. That all just goes on the bottom where the bottles are upside down. Run my fingers over them, especially when the syrup's cooled off, just to make sure that those batch code stickers adhere. But then I take it and I flip it, but when I do, I orient all the syrup to where my label is facing me. And that kind of goes to just keeps them all lined up. So then when I put the grade labels on the caps, I can keep them straight because all the bottles are facing one way. It just, for a quick second, it makes it to where I don't have to move the bottles ever again. Now that they're all oriented facing me, I can take my grade labels and they just go right on the cap facing me, and that's done. Then heat bands, because these bottles don't have tamper evident built into them, I buy the heat shrink ones, take them, split them, put them over the tops. Then it's just the heat gun. With that, you kind of gotta get it so it starts shrinking around the lower part of the bottle rather than just the cap, because if it does, it'll suck the heat shrink up on top so it won't seal around the neck of the bottle. It just takes some practice. And that's it. This case is ready for some tape and head to the stores. For the 50 ml maple leaves, we just do a hang tag. They still get batch coated on the bottom, and we've got little hang tags. Port City Graphics, Gorham, Maine. They make these for us, and they come cut, punched, everything, and then we just get the little elastics. So we put our grade label on the back, and then pinch that through. Comes up. The side that has the veins of the leaf on it, that's the side that gets the hang tag, and then I just have to loop it over once. Make sure it's straight, make sure the bow lines up, and that's it, and then these go in. This first batch it's boiling now. It's been boiling for, I don't know, probably 20 minutes, half hour. It smells amazing in here, by the way, just so everyone knows it's like really good. But I'm gonna test it. I know that I'm still light, but I wanna test it and kind of just see how far off I am. It's actually right on, so now I just gotta let this stuff cool down. Running it through the press now. As always, the liter press is great because you can see the cakes build up. And up into the new water jacket, which is, this thing is nice. I'm real happy with this. So these I don't flip over, and that's because I need to let them cool, and then we're gonna wax them. So with that, we don't flip them over, we'll just wait because then it's just handling it again. But once they cool down, probably this week I'll start waxing them because we put that decorative red wax on the top to really draw, it makes the product really stand out. So I don't do that, but that'll happen next time. There, that first barrel is empty. I'm gonna kick it out of the way now because for some reason I think that my ratchet handle is behind this. I think it fell down and I just can't see it, so I'm gonna drag that away. Nope. Just a cut off tap and a bunch of syrup back there on the floor. There, that's out of the way from the corner because I got too much other stuff. But in order to get every last little bit of syrup, I've got this barrel up on a 5-gallon pail so that it'll get every last bit out. And then, like I said before, this barrel, I haven't called them yet, but it's most likely going to Allagash Brewing. They're going to make a maple beer with these. It's pretty good. Since I've got the time today and I've got everything already dirty with whiskey barrel syrup, I'm gonna grab that barrel that's back there behind all that crap and get that one out. I've got it set up to where I grab it with a pallet jack and slide it out, but there's a pallet of glass in the way and there's all that crap. So I'll get this stuff moved. I'll get the tractor, I'll move the pallet of glass, and then I can wheel that thing around, and might as well bottle that one today too. Well, that doesn't work very good. Somehow, I didn't get this thing, so it's not tall enough, so I can't get the pallet jack under it. I gotta figure something else out. Well, I put quite a dent in that pallet of glass today. So it's all, I've got filled glass there, those are full, and then those there. I've got like another 3 batches left in the second barrel. So I got everything pretty well cleaned up. I got a little bit left to clean up tonight, but Aaron just called down and said that tacos are ready, so I might as well go up and get something to eat and, well, enjoy a beverage because it's been a long day on my feet. My feet are a little sore, so. Place smelling like whiskey barrel syrup is pretty amazing in here, so see you in the next one.